Namaste, hello everyone. I'm Sai Swarupa Iyer, author of Rukmini, Krishna's wife. First of all, thank you for participating in hashtag AG Ask the Author initiative by Atta Galata. And thank you, Rupa Publications. And finally, thank you, participants. The response was wonderful. I could not have imagined a better response. Thank you, each of you, for those questions which came straight out of your hearts. It was a pleasure. It was such a joyful exercise going through each of those questions, and it was a hard task to select just three or four out of them. That explains a bit of delay, but thanks a lot. Yes, I'll not keep you waiting. I am here to announce the winners. The first one goes to Jashasvi from Instagram. Her handle is at the rate August underscore reader. Uh, Congratulations, Yashasvi. You win a copy of Rukmini and some goodies from Attagalata. Uh, Jashasvi's question was how to portray a character from centuries before in the 21st century and give justice to the changing perceptions of culture and its delegates over the years. So, Jashasvi and others, Indian civilization always has two components. One is a timeless component, which does not change over time, which is evergreen, right? That's why we call Sanatan. In addition, it has a dynamic component. The dynamic component is subject to changes in situation, time, society, what they call as Desha Kala Paristhiti. While portraying historical or ancient characters, the storytellers, strictly in my opinion, should differentiate between these two components. Our ancestors were both rational and rooted, kind, compassionate, as well as strong and courageous. They had reason, they had very strong conviction in what they believed in. So, we storytellers can do justice to those wonderful people from our past when we respect the balance between these two contrasting aspects. I hope that answers your question. So, we move to the next winner, Rashmi from Instagram. Again, the handle is at Rashmi, RUSHME underscore reviews. Thank you, Rashmi. Congratulations. The whole world knows Krishna's beloved as Radha. That's Rashmi's question. She says the whole world knows Krishna's beloved as Radha. My question is, did the author want to portray the feelings of someone who holds a topmost position of respect as wife but fails to hold topmost position in his heart? I love mythology and I'm looking forward for this one. Yes, Rashmi, I really hope you love reading Rukmini. To answer your question, I think there is no topmost position, middle position, bottom position in Krishna's heart. He does not rank and rate people he loves, he just loves them. Krishna helps people to put forth their best. And when you are in Krishna's company, you're the best version of yourself. You become the best version of yourself. So, this book, Rukmini, is an attempt to explore one such inspiring story, the story of his first wife, the story of this brave princess who became a very respected goddess, topmost respected goddess, as you said. Older traditions, just this is just a addendum because a lot of questions were asking was around Radha. So even Rashmi asked about Radha. So older traditions around Krishna worship, they worship Krishna as the consort of Rukmini and Satyabhama. All the shlokas, one of them is Chandrananam Chaturbahum Srivatsankita Vakshasam Rukminim Satyabhama Bhyam Sahitam Krishna Mashraye. That's how we worship Krishna. There's a sampradaya called Gaudiya Sampradaya who worship Radha. And these multiple traditions coexist in our beautiful country. And an offshoot of Gaudiya Sampradaya, it went global, popularizing Krishna and Radha and Krishna worship, which is why we tend to think, especially in the modern generations, we tend to think that Radha was his true love, and the other ladies were just for formality or whatever, which is a total myth. Krishna loved everyone equally. We move on to the next question. Next winner, congratulations, Jessica Antinori from Instagram as well. The handle is at the rate of Jessica Rose _ I love this question. Does the perception and meaning of female empowerment vary cross culturally or among different types of people? How do you define female empowerment? Yes, Jessica, perception may appear to be different because of varied practices, culture and practice. It differs from place to place, time to time. But the meaning of female empowerment, I think, is inherently the same across time and spaces. My definition of empowerment, male or female, is cognizance of swabhava, the nature, the individual nature, and swadharma. How that is how we leverage, nurture, and leverage that nature for greater good. So recognize individual strengths, weaknesses, ambitions, drives, motivations, threats, everything. Recognize that self, recognize the swabhava, and nurture it, develop it, leverage that swabhava for greater good, that is swadharma. So when you put forth yourself, you connect yourself, you train yourself and connect yourself to a greater cause, that is true empowerment, feminine or masculine, whatever it is. So this cognizance and balance between swabhava and swadharma is what I call as empowerment. Then we come to the last winner from Twitter, Neha Chamaria. At the rate of, her handle is at the rate of Neha CHMARIA. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I got the spelling right. She asks, the blurb says Rukmini made some bold choices. So, what were any of those choices, the kind you could relate to real life and feel women today can harness for their best? That brings me to Rukmini's priorities, because choices depend upon our individual priorities. And Rukmini's priorities are something which are an inspiration not just to Gen Z, even to our ancestors as well as our kids. She's going to be an inspiration because she had crystal clear priorities. She knew she had resilience, yes. She had courage, yes. She also has had that sacrificing, compassionate heart, yes. And most importantly, she knew when to apply what. She knew when to stand up for herself. She knew to sacrifice when it was needed. And sacrifice is always made from a position of strength. She knew that, not from weakness. When you're made to do it, it is oppression, it's not sacrifice. Rukmini did not let herself be oppressed, right? When her choice was being undermined, she fought and she eloped with the man she loved. She stood up for herself. She stood up to that unfair version of patriarchy. So that makes Rukmini so bold, and we love her for that reason. But this very same Rukmini was so compassionate. When the sacrifice was needed from a position of power, she was very kind and compassionate. So that's what makes Rukmini at least very an inspiring woman to me. I hope you agree with me. So thank you all. Congratulations once again, Yashasvi, Rashmi, Jessica, Neha. The prizes would be reaching you soon. And congratulations, everybody. I loved this whole initiative. Thank you. Thanks a lot.